Hey folks, Chitaf Adams here for the first episode in this month's series focused on LOMO lenses. I'll start with the cautionary tale for dealing with sketchy sellers, PayPal transactions, and offers that seem too good to be true. This is how I fell for a LOMO Anamorphic scam. If you get enraged by characters taking stupid decisions in movies or stories, you should stop watching this video now, because you'll get mad at me for my actions. You have been warned. Back in early 2016, I decided I was going to build up a LOMO square front set throughout the year. So I started researching all the usual marketplaces and forums. The lenses were available, but not for a price that I could pay. About the same time, a couple of sketchy listings started popping up on eBay, all of them under the username Malabute Cinema. As a group, the folks of anamorphic shooters on Facebook managed to take a few of these listings down by providing eBay with proof that the seller was using bogus photos, as in the owner of the actual photos for the listing came forward on Facebook and everything. After that first wave, another listing came up for an 80mm bass. Pause. There are two main types of square fronts. NAS, the older generation in which spherical and anamorphic blocks are built separately and work through an interlocking pin, and BAS, monoblock lenses that won't break in two. Hence, they feature better mechanics overall and withstand better the passage of time. Back up. So this 80mm BAS popped up and I started talking to the seller from the very first minute, asking for more photos, serial numbers, how did he come across the lens, why was he selling it, all that jazz that you have to ask when you're getting into a high value deal. It was a reasonably large sum of money. I wasn't just gonna toss it his way and expect him to come through. I'm a smart guy, or so I thought. I was coordinating with Oleg Kalinichenko, USSR Soviet lens expert in Ukraine, through emails and verifying all the information. So far, all of the seller's answers checked out. And so my trail of mistakes begun. I asked the seller to end the auction early for a large chunk of money. I know it's wrong, and I never did it again after this story. He replied he was expecting to get a little more than what I was offering, and said that he would contact me back a few hours before the auction ended. First red flag. As a seller, you should always try to make your buyers trust you and not try to squeeze money out of them. The system he had set up was, if the auction hadn't reached the sum I offered until its final hours, he would cancel it and sell the lens to me. If the auction went well, I'd be left out. It was still a good deal, so I said yes, I went for it. The auction was going pretty poorly, and it didn't seem like it was going to go for the amount he wanted anyway. I set an alarm in the middle of the night. This guy was in Kazakhstan and I'm in Vancouver, so we had a 13-hour difference. My timer was about 10 minutes before the auction was up, and I had a message from him saying that he would take my offer and I should raise the current bid to our agreed value and he would cancel the listing. It was like 3 a.m. here and I didn't have enough brain functionality to process how stupid that was. Even for him as a seller, a higher bid would imply that he would have to pay more fees to eBay. So I did it, and I raised the bid from $1,200 to $3,500. I messaged him, it was done, and he went silent. With a couple of seconds to go, it's eBay, you know? So someone outbid me and the timer was up. I was pissed. I messaged him about how dishonest that whole thing was, that he used my trust to increase his profit, leaving me out in the dark, that he didn't do what he agreed upon. I don't think I was ever so rude to anyone online before. In my sleepy mind, I was able to see the box arriving at my door and my joy of finally having my own LOMO. All of that suddenly gone. I was so mad I couldn't even go back to sleep. A few minutes later, the seller replies and extensively apologizes, saying he wasn't able to cancel the listing, that it was his first time on eBay and that he was sorry that it happened and yada yada. He said we had a deal and he sent me a PayPal invoice for the $3,000 we had agreed before. Still, in my shroud of LOMO dreams, I saw that as a very positive event, so I paid the invoice. Again, he went silent. Come on, how many times was I gonna willingly fall for this stupid instructions? Apparently, there were a few more to go. The next day, I could barely do anything, just worried about the money. So I started to crack down on who the heck was this person. His eBay name said one thing, and it didn't really match his email name. And these two gave me very little information on who he was. One of them matched the name of a soccer player, but the name that showed up on the invoice, though, was a third, different name. And upon Googling that name, it was linked to the Whois domain registration for Malamute Cinema's website. Yep, the same guy with the bogus listings from the beginning of this video. About the same time as I freaked out, PayPal notified me of a refund, and I got another email from the seller. He said the eBay buyer had also paid, so he had to honor the original sale, and that my money was blocked for him for 21 days. So, as an honest man, he was sending me back a refund and not a LOMO. Okay, not too bad. At least I didn't lose anything. Right? In the same message, he mentions a 50mm LOMO, and when I asked about his name, he said his real name was the one on the PayPal invoice, but he had never heard or had no connection with Malamute Cinema. He said it was a common name and he couldn't be all of those people. If there was a perfect point in the middle of the story that I could leave not too badly burnt, this was it. But the emotional roller coaster of feeling cheated, then being offered another chance, feeling scammed, getting the money back, and still having the chance of getting those lenses for a very decent price, I pushed forward. It was my year-long goal and I was blinded by it. There was no other explanation. Plus, he mentioned getting a 3-lens set of round fronts ready to go, serviced, fitted with PL mounts and focus gears in about a month's time. In my head, I was like, if I can get these too, I'll sell this 50mm square front to make up for a part of what the set is gonna cost. And I'm taking everything I can from these photos to find if they're legit. I'm trying to match them on Google Images and see if somebody else posted them online and the seller's just reusing them. I'm searching for the serial numbers to see if they come up anywhere in forums or mentions, and nothing. Seems legit. In the hopes of boosting my chances of getting the full set, I sent him the money as friends and family. Let's hold again. Pause. Unless you have a very good reason for this and you're actually sending money to friends and family, never do this. Never send money this way. The reason is you're not covered by PayPal's buyer protection if you do so, and that's where they get you. Back to the story. This was May 28th, and he said he was only going to be able to ship the lens on June 5th. I felt that was strange, and I asked him why. Guess what? Again, silence. No money, no lens, no reply. How will this story unfold? Will Tito get anything out of this? Did he actually manage to build his LOMO set and has been hiding it all along? Find out the answers in next week's episode. Thank you so much for indulging my storytelling, folks. And if you had fun, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Also, feel free to leave a comment below grading my stupidity from 1 to 10 10 being the stupidest. Verheddings out.